I'm Robin from CookingMexicanRecipes.com, and today I'm making chicken mole. Now before we get started, I'm not going to go over all the ingredients for you right off the bat. I'm going to do it as we go through the recipe as we're cooking it. The first thing we're going to start with though is our chicken. Now you're going to need about 3 to 5 pounds of chicken. That's a little variety there, a variation in the amount. But you can use a whole chicken and cut it up. I did that about a week ago. But today I'm going to use just chicken thighs. I like the chicken thighs because they stay nice and moist. So let's get cooking. I've got my pan going here with a little bit of olive oil in it, say a tablespoon over medium heat, and I'm going to start adding my chicken thighs. Now I've taken the skin off. I'm just going to stick these in. And we're just going to brown them up a little bit. We're not going to try and cook them through. Oh, it's a big one. You can add just a little bit of salt to that. While I'm waiting for that to cook, I'm going to add my ingredients to my sauce right here in the pan. I've got 3 cups of chicken broth, and I've got a cup of orange juice, and I've got 2 ounces of tequila. Now I'm using 100% agave tequila here. It's the good stuff. And I'm going to put that on low heat. So I'm going to turn over the pieces. They're just going to brown them up maybe 2 or 3 minutes on each side. And then when they're browned up on the other side, I'm going to add them to this pan over here with the orange juice and the chicken broth. I'm going to transfer these to the pan now. Pull it a little closer. Now I'm going to add the next batch of chicken. You're going to want to use a lid for your sauteing your chicken because it's going to spatter quite a bit and it kind of protects you from getting burnt. Okay, so these are ready to go. These are the last pieces that are going to go into this sauce. Now what we're going to do here is I'm going to cover this and let this simmer for about 30 minutes, and it will continue to cook the chicken. So I kind of want to submerge it pretty good like that. We'll cover and simmer it and set our timer. Okay, so now we're going to add a little more oil. I'm going to add just a little bit more olive oil to my pan where we just cooked our chicken, and I'm going to add my minced onion. Now this is a large onion, just a yellow onion, and 2 mediums will work, but you want to have a nice amount because it's going to cook down. And this is where you get a lot of your flavor. And I'm going to saute this for about 15, maybe 20 minutes. Okay, so we've been sauteing our onions now for about 20 minutes. I want you to have a look and see how nice and brown and how they've cooked down to probably half of what they started out with. And at this point, I'm going to add about 6 cloves of garlic, and I'm going to put them in a garlic press. Oopsie, come back here. And we're going to add this to it, and we're going to get this wonderful odor, the smell coming from this. It's wonderful. Once the garlic starts to heat up a little bit. Okay, here's our last garlic clove. We'll get that in there. Now I want to stir it around a little bit so that can get heated up and that aroma starts to come up from the garlic. And then I'm going to add, I've got a teaspoon of coriander. This is ground coriander and ground cumin. And we're going to add a 1/4 cup of sliced almonds. Now I'm going to saute this mixture for about 3 or 4 minutes. Just stir it around. Now our chicken should be done. And that's over here. You can see it simmering away. Okay, so I'm going to remove the chicken to another plate so that it has a chance to cool. And then after it's cool enough that I can touch it, I'm going to take all the meat off the bone. Our onion mixture is ready to go into our sauce. So I'm going to pour this in. Okay, we're going to put this in here and then I'm going to add a bunch of other ingredients, which I'm going to go over with you in just a second. I've got just some regular raisins. I've got about 1/8 of a cup, so I'm going to throw those in. 4 tablespoons of chili powder. Toss all that in there. I've got 1/4 teaspoon of smoked paprika. That'll give it a nice little flavor. And I've got 1 teaspoon of salt. And I've got a couple of tablespoons of regular peanut butter. Put that in there. Here's a little measuring tip for you. Spices like this one, chili powder, can cost like $5 a bottle, and you don't want to waste any. So when you're measuring it out, sometimes you can't get your spoon into the container, so you're going to want to pour it out. What happens is you're going to spill it all over. Now this is what I like to do, is I take a small piece of wax paper, set it down, and I can pour my spice. In fact, I can overfill it. So even if you overfill it, then you can level it off, and then you can use it. You can still save this by folding it up, making a little opening at the end like that, and pouring it back, whatever's left over, into your jar. So before I add the chocolate to our recipe, I want to show you what I'm using. This is Ibarra chocolate. You get these at, well, you can get it at Safeway or any store. And this is what it looks like. This is 1/2 of a circle that this comes in. And you're going to want to put 1 triangle. You can see they're triangles there divided. You're going to put 1 1/2 triangles. So you cut that with your knife, and then you're going to chop it up to help it melt quicker, and it'll look like this. So that's 1 1/2 triangles of chocolate. And I'm going to give that a stir. And we're going to boil this for about 10 minutes. Just a nice slow boil. Now some people like their chicken mole to be really spicy. So you can spice this up quite a bit if you want to, and here's an idea for you. Add some of these chipotle peppers in adobo sauce. Maybe 1 or 2 of these, depending on how spicy you like it. My family likes it pretty mild, so I'm not even adding this, but this is an option to get some heat to this dish. All right, so now it's time to do our chicken. I'm just going to peel the meat off the bone. So it's still a little bit warm, but it's not too bad. Any pieces of fat that you get, you might want to just slide them aside. Okay, so I've had my sauce simmering on the stove for about 10 minutes, and I've taken it off, and it's been cooling now for about 10 minutes. Now, I'm going to work on the chicken. I've taken the meat off the bone, and now I'm just going to cut it up or even shred it. I mean, you can do this with your hands. In fact, I think that's just what I'll do. It doesn't need to be pulled apart too much. The pieces are already pretty small. So I'm just going to kind of tear them up a little bit and get them into more bite-sized pieces. Now I want to say, make sure that you let your sauce cool enough so that you don't burn yourself when you pour it into your blender. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to pour our sauce in carefully. Make sure you get everything in there. And you can see it's still pretty hot. Now I'm going to stick it on here and just get everything blended up. Remember, there's raisins in here and some chocolate and all those other goodies. Okay, so what we end up with is a nice, smooth, pretty hot sauce. And there's a certain amount of thickness to it, as you can see. So it has a little body. And a lot of that depends on how much you let the sauce cook down when you're simmering it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add all my chicken to the pot. Now this dish will probably serve a good 6 to 8 people. So just stir your chicken around, and then if it's not hot enough, you can reheat it a little bit on the stove to keep it hot and simmering. And there you go. So I hope this video helps you make some chicken mole for yourself at home. Be sure and stop by my website at cookingmexicanrecipes.com for more recipes you can make at home. And subscribe to my channel and check me out on Facebook. I'm there as well. Thanks for stopping by.